Gather on the TV set, folks. The Bruce Show is on the air. Juice Bruce, get loose. You know that you got the juice, oh you lose, get loose. You know that you got the juice. Juice Bruce is on the air. Juice Bruce Show's on the air. Welcome to another Bruce Show, folks. So, we always like to get the Bruce Show started off with a good prayer. And Lord, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for your many blessings. You are the greatest and the mightiest and the holiest ever in all the heavens and all the earths and everywhere else. And we admire everything about you. And we'd humbly strive to do your work here on earth, Lord. And Lord, we'd ask you for good health. We'd ask you to protect our soldiers. We'd ask you to spare the lives of the people from the calamity and disasters around the world. And we'd ask you to let the people see their common understanding and brotherhood in this world. And we'd ask for these things in the name of the Lord. Amen. All right, folks. Well, all right, so I have to be honest with you, right? Because this is the end of the tape. I already did the tape, and what happened was, well, I cheesed my way through as much as I can, you know, so I have some used tapes. They give me a few used tapes to go do the sporting events with. So I had this used tape, and I tried to put it in here and make a Bruce Show, and like the first 7 or 8 minutes or so, during this prayer time and everything else I said and the beginning of the songs and stuff. And it was all like, well, it was like half me. It was a stripe of me, and then it was a stripe of Jan, right? This Jan Severus, who's a guy who used to be down at the TV station and stuff. And then it'd be a stripe of me, and then a stripe of him. I was moving, but he was standing still. It was very strange. And that went on for 7 or 8 minutes. And there was no sound. And then the sound and me kicked in. But, you know, so I got to tell you again what I told you then. All right? And this time, I'm planning on getting it right. You know what I'm saying? So, the main thing I want to say here at the beginning of the show is, like, see, I got a situation. And I'm needing some assistance, you know. The thing about it is, you know, I've been trying to do like some high school sporting events, you know, going to some games and filming them and doing a little commentary, you know. And, you know, I've been making some games, but not as many games as there are, you know. I can't make too many of the games, really. And it's going to get worse come springtime. Because, you know, games being at daytime, and hopefully I'll have to go to, you know, real work that pays real money or whatever. So, you know, my scheduling is flexible, I guess you say, but still, I don't have time to do this all, you know. It's like, so, my thing is that, you know, it would be really good if we could get some people to, that were interested in filming the games, you know, doing some of the games for the ACTV. You know, I already got, there's times, you know, when they schedule to put the games on. I think it's like Wednesday and Saturday at 8 o'clock in the evening. And then if there's games, they'll put them on some other times too, you know. So all we need is some people. You could be in high school if you want to do it, you know, if you've got friends on the team or something. You know, you got to make something of a commitment. You know, they gotta know you're gonna bring the camera back or whatever. But you know, they're willing. If your parents, you know, if you're parents of some kids that are on some of the high school teams and stuff, because there's a lot of sports. You know, I did some football games. I've done some basketball games. I did like one lacrosse game, and I used to have a guy, you know, nudging me to go down there and do the games. But well, Kenneth calls me, but sometimes, but I'm going to go to the high school tomorrow, the Amherst High School on this Monday, which is, by the time this comes out, it's too late for you. But, you know, they're playing in the playoffs, and they got one home playoff game, so going to make it to that. Like I say, don't forget to watch The Bruce Show, ACTV, Channel 12, Wednesday and Friday at 10 o'clock p.m. All right, and then the sports show is on at Wednesday and Saturday, I think at 8 p.m. And I gave them some shows recently, so there should be some high school basketball games on for you. All right, but like I say, come on down and get checked out on the camera and stuff. You know, I'm like computer illiterate, and I can do it. You know, after a long time, I can get through the thing and make the shows without really anybody helping me. So, you know, I can't do a lot of stuff, but there's some stuff I can do. And, you know, if you know how to do these sorts of things, you pick it up easy, you know. And then you'll be making shows. You know what I'm saying? All right, so Candace told me to tell you that, like right at the beginning of the show, before I started playing the guitar. I guess her idea was, well, I don't know how to take it, you know. I don't know if I should take that as a compliment, like people are going to watch the show until they see the song at the beginning, you know, and then they're going to change the channel, you know. That would sort of be like a compliment, right? But if she just means that, like, as soon as they turn the show on, when they figure out what it is, they're going to change the channel, all right, then it wouldn't be that much of a compliment, you know. But I have to thank Candace for telling me to put that on at the beginning of the show when I may have some viewers. All right. So what happened was with the tape is, like I say, 7-8 minutes went by. I think you missed the beginning. You missed and what I just said, and then the beginning of the songs. So, you know, I could go back and redo the songs, but I'm going to spare you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the tape like pretty quick now, and then I'm going to put this part at the beginning, breaking my chronological order rule, but I'm going to do it in this case because of what Candace said there, you know, because plus I like to get the prayer in the beginning. I don't want to start all the way over again. Because I was talking in this one, I'm going to start talking about the Lord and thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. All right? And that part did come out, you know, I think on the tape. So I'm just going to leave it. So the tape's going to break. Now I'm going to splice you right in to as soon as the tape starts working good, and I'm playing the guitar. All right? So you're lucky you missed the beginning of Just a Gigolo, which is by I don't know whom. All right? So stay with me here. All right? Just a gigolo, gigolo, and everywhere I go, gigolo, people know the part I'm playing. Oh, yeah. Pay for every dance, I'm telling each romance, sometimes while the music's swaying. Oh, yes, and there will come a day, youth will pass away. What'll they say about me? When the end comes, I know I was just a gigolo, gigolo, say life goes on without me. I said I was just a gigolo, gigolo, and everywhere I go, gigolo, and people know the part I'm playing. Pay for every dance, I'm selling each romance, oh yes, hey. While the music's swaying, oh yes, and there will come a day, oh yeah, youth will pass away, oh yeah. What'll they say about me? When the end Oh, some sweet mama, come and take a chance on me. 'Cause I ain't so bad, you'll say. There will come a day you will pass away. What'll they say about me? When the end comes, I know I was just a gigolo, gigolo. Say, life goes on without me. Let's say that. It's just a gigolo, gigolo, and everywhere I go, gigolo, people know the part I'm playing. Pay for every dance, selling each romance, while the music's playing. Oh yeah, there will come a day where youth will pass away. What do they say about me? When the end comes, I know I was just a gigolo, gigolo. Say, life goes on without me. They say that life goes on without me. I'm an easy. Life goes on without me. Oh, baby, say, life goes on without me. Hold on. Oh, this is it. This is life, the one you get. Go on and handball. And is it true most every time? Well, let it shine. Our love sure look good one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. Come on, nails. One day at a time, one day at a time. Love, peace, and harmony. I say they rockin', but won't get down. I say they plenty juicy, don't won't get down. I say, hey, I'm still around. Let's get down. One day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. Mama, nails. One day at a time, one day at a time. High, fine, and fancy praise. Say they holdin', they won't let go. Say they, let's rock 'em like Roll-O-Mo. Say, come on, mama, let's fast and slow. Let's get down. One day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. Come on, nails. Say, one day at a time, one day at a time, like a way it used to be. Say, one day at a time, one day at a time. Come on, nails. Say, one day at a time, love, peace, and harmony, harmony, lay it down. Oh yeah. All right, folks. There you go. A couple songs for you. Now, the thing about it is, right? Last time I was doing a show, I ran up against something and I said I was going to do something and I said I was going to talk about something, so now we're going to do it. Got out the book. Now you better not change the channel. I'm telling you, this would be bad. Be bad if you went and changed the channel now. That's right. All right, I got to figure this out. Exodus. The Ten Commandments given. That's what I'm talking about here tonight. All right, for a while at least. All right, chapter 20 in Exodus, that's where they gave you the Ten Commandments. They give them again, too. I think in Deuteronomy or something. Maybe Leviticus. I'm not sure. maybe Deuteronomy. They're here. They say them a little different in the other place. So I guess it's not exactly word for word. You know, you could say the same thing in two slightly different ways, and it's still the same thing. But this is the way they said it in Exodus 20. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, and out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generations of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor, and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day, and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. So, there you have it. That's the 10 Commandments. There's some, you'd have to go through and pick out. There's not numbers on them in this book. You have to go and figure them all out. Which one is a commandment and which is a description of what'll happen. So, you know what he says here. Verse 5 says, Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generations of them that love me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that that hate me. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. So, that's the part I wanted to talk about. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Because it seems to me that's been almost forgotten about. It's almost been forgotten about around this world, this place. Lots of people, they think like what that means, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. They think that means like you shouldn't say, God damn it. That's taking the Lord's name in vain. And it sort of is, it's sort of taking the Lord's name in vain, because you don't really mean, for God to damn something if you say, God damn it, right? You're just using it as an expression of, anger or frustration or whatever. but you don't actually mean for the God to damn something. So, technically you're taking his name in vain by invoking it, for no reason. But God's not stupid. God doesn't think that you say, God damn you or God damn it or something. He wants you to really do it. You want him to really do it, When an urban cowboy, when John Travolta gets his arm broken by the mechanical bull, right? He says, "You broke my goddamn arm." God knows that John Travolta doesn't want him to damn his arm, right? That's more or less an expression. That's not exactly literally what, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain means. More literally, it means because that's how people used to make contracts way back in the day. There wasn't much of a legal system that could force you to court to pay your debts or whatever. So if you made a deal with somebody, that's what they would say. They'd say, I swear to God, I'm going to pay you, And then, if you invoke the name of the Lord to make an agreement with somebody, and then you broke the agreement, then you are taking the name of the Lord thy God in vain. That's what it means more literally. They still do it. We still do it. Okay? We still make this contract using the name of the Lord. All right? If you go to court, they say, if you get sworn in on the witness stand or something, they say, "Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?" You say, "I do." Right? "I swear to tell the truth in the name of the Lord. And now if I lie, I've taken the name of the Lord thy God in vain." Right? That's what it means. They still do it. You saw the inauguration, right? When they swear somebody in. They say, "Do you promise to defend this nation and our Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic? So help you God?" "I do." Or else they repeat it back to him as an oath, right? So then, if you make that oath and swear to God, and then you don't do what you said, then you would be taking the name of the Lord thy God in vain, right? So, that's more about what it means. But that's only in the literal sense. That's only in the actual sort of legalistic manner of the words being used. Because really, thou shalt not take the Lord thy God's name in vain, it means a lot more than that. It means not just if you swear to God and then you break your word, right? It means a lot more than that. There's there's 10 commandments there. Those are the major tenets of our society, essentially. That's what allows for civilization, If you're guilty of breaking those other tenets, right? Not just the first 4 or something that are all about honoring God, right? "Thou shalt have no other God before me." And that sort of thing. Not just those, but for the other ones too. That if you covet, then you're taking the name of the Lord thy God in vain. It covers all of that stuff. It's like an extra charge, If you're a murderer, "Thou shalt not kill." You took the name of the Lord thy God in vain. And the Lord shall not hold him guiltless who taketh his name in vain. Means more than that. Right? It means there's a lot of other things. It means your relationship to your body. Right? Because your body is a gift from God. They say the body is the temple of the Lord. And we were created in the image of God. So what's your responsibility to your body? You know, I was just, I was flipping through the channels, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I come across the X Games, right? I don't know how long this lasts or what motivates these people. It makes me very anxious to watch almost any of that stuff. What they got now, they got snowmobile acrobatics, okay? I mean, this just insanity, okay? That's all that is. Who cares if you can do a backflip on a motorcycle, snowmobile, right? Your body is not a tool. It's not just a machine. Okay, you go out and you use the tool, and then if you break the tool, you go to the welder and get it fixed. Nah. Okay? Body's a temple. All right? You take your snowmobile, and they did it the first night of their snowmobile jumping competition, and some guy crashed and, you know, came within a couple feet of having the machine land on him and probably killed, you know. Lucked out. Barely dodged death. I guess this is the motivation for the X Games. Let's see how far we can push the, you know, push the risk limit here. Let's see how much we can cheat death. You know, that's excitement, I guess, in our culture. You know, I guess he didn't die, so they went back and had the next round the next day. Another guy, sure enough, did. You know, he walked away from the crash. They took him to the hospital, but you know what? Modern medicine couldn't put the machine back together. He died the next day or something. Internal injuries. You know, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the Lord shall not hold him guiltless who taketh his name in vain. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond that sort of thing. Okay? Because one of the things in the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. Right? I was just driving back from South Deerfield today. Today is Sunday. February 24th, I think. And the car in front of me had a bumper sticker up on their back window or something about, I could see Fox, you know, Fox News or something. So I figured it was probably disparaging, you know, because I seen a bumper sticker on somebody's car, and it was a round one, and I think it said, like, turn off Fox News, you know. And I'm like, you know, I don't know, what's the point, you know? What is the point? If there's no intellectuality, what's the point of my freaking talking about it? You know what I'm saying? But come on, you know, to have, even if you're a liberal, even if you're a total progressive, okay, to want to silence or completely muffle any kind of oppositional thinking or reasoning that you know, disagrees with you or that agitates you, so you think it should be silenced or something, you know, I mean, it's more or less completely anti-intellectualism. You know, it's too bad, you know, but it's rampant. I come from Amherst here. Okay, it's a completely academic college town, and it's like that here. Okay, you gotta agree with the dominant majority, or else, you know, there's no use for you. Basically, I guess, you know, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to argue with it. They don't want to discuss it, you know. It just offends their sensibilities that you don't agree with them, you know, no matter how silly their ideas are, you know. But, you know, look at what's happened. The intellectual class, you know, the college, the academia, has abandoned intellectuality. Because intellectuality demands that you not only, you know, condone an oppositional viewpoint, but you actually have to encourage it. You have to hope that it'll flourish. You have to hope that it'll give you some competition for ideas so that you can come to the best conclusions, you know? Anything less All right? That's like bearing false witness. You know, I'm sorry you don't like Fox News, but, you know, what's your idea of the press? You know, as far as I'm concerned, this is just like, you must not understand democracy, right? As well as intellectuality. Because in democracy, it demands freedom of the press, right? It demands an investigative fourth estate, keeping the government honest, keeping the government from becoming corrupt. You know, if the fourth estate is just going to be a cheerleader for, you know, whatever the dominant motivation is, right, then they've completely shirked their responsibility. All right? You know, you don't like Fox News. When Bush was in there, I mostly was watching MSNBC. I don't think they were as quite, you know, they had a couple guys that weren't completely, you know, gone around a bend or whatever, but, you know, I didn't want to hear somebody just, some sycophant just, you know, touting the daily propaganda for me. What good does that do me? You know? I mean, I don't know what had happened now if a Republican goes in as president the next time. You know, will Fox News be investigating of a Republican as much as they are of a Democrat? I don't know. But I guess at least the liberal media would do their job then, right? Then they'd be charged with actually doing their job. I saw the most amazing thing in terms of this I think you can imagine. And I never saw any of these other pundits on other shows talk about it. I think I was watching Daily Rundown with Chucky Todd there, right? And Chucky says, well, what happened is, right, you know, I guess Chucky's out of his mind anyways, because he's determined that the liberal bias is only mythology, okay? That's got nothing to do with reality in Washington, D.C. or New York or wherever the news is coming from, right? But, you know, this is the media. I saw Brian Williams put on about a 3-minute spot of John McCain, who's not running for anything, right? Who's doing a town hall meeting down in Arizona or something, and he gets into a beef with some guy, you know, and it gets a little heated. And that merits, you know, what, 10%? 15% or something of the nightly news broadcast, okay? Meanwhile, this Menendez guy, you know, I don't know if he's guilty of what they say or not, you know. I don't really care, you know. But I'm talking about whether it's just a media, you know, what the media reaction to these two different things is, right? Because they won't touch Menendez, NBC or MSNBC. They wouldn't touch the Menendez story with a 10-foot pole. So here's Chucky Todd on the rundown, and he actually has to describe it, right? And he says how, you know, he actually apologized. He apologized for running down the story as, you know, as lightly as he could. You know, he didn't say anything, I don't think, about underage prostitutes or something, just allegations of impropriety or something, you know. So, but he says, like, you know, see, the FBI is investigating the guy, but they still don't cover it. You know, it's still not a story. It's just unfounded allegations. But then the Menendez office releases a statement about it. So Chucky says, you know, if you hadn't released a statement, you know, I wouldn't have had to come out here and talk about it. But, you know, well, there you go, you know. So somehow, right, when Menendez's office released a statement about it, denying the allegations or whatever, that forced the journalistic hackles in the back of Chucky's neck to rise up. He couldn't ignore this now because Menendez had responded. And he gives him advice, just don't respond and I won't report. You know, I mean, okay, no liberal bias. Well, what it is then, you see what this is? It's kind of like thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet, right? Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Because when you shirk your responsibility, when you don't do your job, when you just become a propaganda instrument for the dominant elite, you've taken the name of the Lord thy God in vain. And the Lord thy God shall not hold him guiltless who taketh his name in vain. That's what he said. It can go beyond that. It can go to just pure hypocrisy. Pure hypocrisy. You know, Al Gore variety. You know? Well, we leave Al alone for this one. Everybody knows. Please don't tell me anything anymore, ever. Okay? What about this Cardinal Dolan here down in New York City? How about this guy? Church is in lawsuits. Church has a fundamental theological, philosophical disagreement with the government about what the limits of the government telling them what to do are. Right? But yet, this guy goes down to wherever the Democrat the convention was and blesses it for them. Starts off their convention for them. Gives them his tacit endorsement. Okay? Oh, no, he's above politics. He doesn't get involved in politics. He just went, don't be that stupid. You show up, you gave him your endorsement. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? You know what? Does the material benefit, does the largesse of the Democratic Party towards indigent peoples, part of the religious tenet of helping the impoverished and stuff, does that outweigh their disregarding your religious liberties? Man cannot serve two masters, God and mammon, mammon being money. You can't get around it. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the Lord shall not hold him guiltless who taketh his name in vain. That's disloyalty. Disloyalty, just like Christie. Christie's on the borderline because all he did was turn his back on the people that he was associated with. Okay? I don't know why anybody would ever vote for Christie for anything else. He may be a good manager. Who cares? If he can sell out Romney, for the government's largesse, why can't he sell you and me or the whole American people out? If you have no loyalty, if you have no integrity, why should anyone trust you? It's hard to say whether he took the name of the Lord thy God in vain because Mitt Romney ain't God. Okay? But still, when you covet, not a good thing. All right? The main thing I want you to know is that thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the Lord shall not hold him guiltless who taketh his name in vain. And it means a lot more than saying, God damn it. It barely means that at all. What it means is everything else. Everything else. You got to walk the path. So, we probably got plenty of tape here. I wanted to get this one done. I gave a long pause in there, so if I think about what it was I was going to say, I didn't go for the outline this time because I figured I could just do it without it and it would be better. But at any rate. All right, so hold on. All right, you lucky people. You see, I came back. I came right back because I remember one thing I was going to say. I was talking about the media, right? And how if you shirk your responsibility as the news media and you just become sycophants for the big lie, then thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Right? But what if you're the media? What if you're the entertainment media? Right? What if you're the commercials, the movies, the TV shows? What if that's your business and what you're doing is, demonstrably, remarkably, blatantly immoral, amoral, offensive, designed to detriment the individual and society, right? All in the name of profits, titillation, excessiveness, narcissism, hedonism, right? What if you're those people? Well, you know what I'm going to say, right? Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the Lord shall not hold him guiltless who taketh his name in vain. And it's the truth, Ruth. All right? I can't even believe the shows. I could do 5 minutes worth of research, I guess. But you know what? I want all of that stuff to never enter my consciousness. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to think about what the names of these stupid-ass shows are. Practically everything they put on. I've said things before about, like, AMC. Everything that comes on that they make. Come on. Breaking Bad. Let's glorify a crack or whatever he make. Crystal meth. Let's glorify a crystal meth kingpin's existence. Let's show how exciting that would be. How about Zombie? What's the one with the zombies or whatever it is? I never watch any of that. You know what I'm saying? It's bad for you. Look what they're putting out in the movie theater. They got a whole bunch of slasher ones out there. I'm sitting here watching a nice TV show and I gotta watch some horrifying thing, exorcism or something, It's like, dude, why, as a human being on this beautiful earth, right? Why would anybody fill their minds with visions of horror, strangeness? That's not what God wants you to be spending your mental energy on. It's detrimental to you. The people themselves. We have an obligation to ourselves and to God that we filter those things out of our lives, that we don't participate with them. You know how I feel about technology. I say it's the same thing. I say the taboos are clearly laid down in the Bible right there, the Tower of Babel. Y'all don't want to listen? There's not much I can do about that. But the thing about it is, look how it's just being embraced. Look how there's not even anybody who says, oh, whoa, wait a minute, is this in our best interest? Is it in our best interest to learn how to manipulate the human genome so that we can produce whatever kind of freaky freak we want? Is that a good idea? Oh, we'll never do it. What in our history makes you think that we'll never do it? What in the human history makes you think that if we have a capacity, somebody's not going to do it? To think that is to be stupid, if you ask me. You have to be incredibly naive. At some point, you got to recognize, that the technology itself, ungodly. We talked about the drones the last time. It's ungodly to send a machine, a remote-controlled, operated machine, to go kill people. I don't even know about spying on them. You know what I'm saying? In America, we got a Fourth Amendment. You're not supposed to just fly around spying people. But at least it's not as bad as killing them, I guess. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. So I checked the time over there. It was like what was it? I think it was like 39 minutes. So I just talked for, I don't know, a few more. I'm going to try to play a song. I haven't even thought about a song. What song was I trying to play before? Remember this one? Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this little song, and if this show ends early, I don't know. I might have the Herman Cain skit down there at the TV station. They say the server isn't going to lose all my stuff anymore. I had to clean it out almost completely. But the Herman Cainerator skit was pretty new. If I knew how to do it, I could put the discs back in there and get stuff back. But let's lay this leaving down, go fetch another round, and lay down and love me like you love me when you love me and you didn't have to try. Let's lay down and die, and then tomorrow we'll fly. Hold on tight, I'm getting down. Hold on tight, I say. Let's lay this leaving down, go fetch another round, then lay down and love me like you love me when you love me and you didn't have to try. Let's lay down and die, and then tomorrow we'll fly. Hold on tight, I'll take you down. Hold on tight, I say. Let's lay this leaving down, go fetch another round, then lay down and love me like you love me when you love me and you didn't have to try. Let's lay down and die, and then tomorrow we'll fly. Hold on tight, we're shaking down. Hold on tight, I say. Let's lay this leaving down, go fetch another round, and lay down and love me like you love me when you love me and you didn't have to try. Let's lay down and die, and then tomorrow we'll fly over there. Let's fly over there, sitting, fly over there, fly over hand. All right, folks. Like I say, I think I'm going to be able to show you a commercial or something. So, thanks for tuning into the Bruce Show on the ACTV every Wednesday and Friday at 10 o'clock. They tell me they put the sports show on if I make them a sports show, because I can only make them so many shows, you know. But if you watch on Wednesday at 8 o'clock, that's a good time to be a sports show. I already got time carved out down at the station. Just come on down. Get the camera. Help me make some sports shows and put them on TV for the high school, for the kids, for the children. Yes, Wednesday and Saturday at 8 o'clock is the other time for the sports show. Prime time, baby. Prime time. Come on down. All right? Say, thanks for being with me, all right? We'll catch you later. All right, folks. Oh, 5 minutes of tape left, so light just started blinking. I got to use it all up. Even if I use it all up, then I'm still going to have to play some skit or something to have enough tape. So the thing about it is, right, now we're back at the end of the tape, and I got to get a couple things squared up here. I keep ripping this guy's song off here. I think his name is Luke Brantley. I heard his name on the radio. I'm thinking that's what it is. I'm not exactly positive. So if I got it wrong, I'm sorry. But I'm trying to give you your props, because now it's like 3 times I'm trying to, you know, destroy this guy's song. Now, as a special treat, I'm going to hook it up again and go over there, because you probably heard enough guitar music. I want to play like that reggae song again, right? That "We Get My Motor Ribbon," that one there. All right, so hold on a second. I'll probably have to turn the camera and figure out the sound. The light's already blinking, so I gotta hurry, all right?
But I like on the phone and I tell you you wonder. Cause when I see no hurt, you tell me you are begging me a call where you can't search the phone for. Now I tear off my shirt. After me done tell you say you are the woman of the yard, and you know say every man flirt. So why the hell you a stress me when you flick a race me? Tell me where the cussing work. You know it say telephone thing a shock me lie. It make me hate a call me why. You know see it say telephone thing a shock me lie. It make me girl run down tonight. And you know see it say telephone thing a shock me lie. Hey, I hit a class for salvai. You know see it say telephone thing a shock me lie. It make me can't sleep good at night. Before you day out with me, good and never text. Until you go read me one sex you text. They are laughing.
You? What do you want?
Me can't believe I'm so cool. People no man, I call people.
More? You want more?
Please, sir, can I have some more?
More? You want more?
Well, sir, shall they have some more?
Nine.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
All right, folks. Here you go. I'm gonna do this song here, and I did it before. And I found my cover here. Tanya Stephens, To the Limit, 313. Gives me just enough tape to apologize for judging. Judge not, lest you be judged. And I have judged. So I will be judged. So let's just go on out with Tanya here. Alright, here we go.
If experience teaches wisdom, or some guy proclaims so much wisdom based entirely off of the fact when them proudly proclaim say, them no experience nothing yet. Well, you know me, born to do it well, in spite of and despite of rough. What's that? You say, some people spend a lifetime only experience politics and religion. Some people seize every moment, others stay governed by indecision. Some people live their lives like a victim, resigned to failure and them refuse to see that bring them up and treat me like Judas. Them think me spineless, so me show them my rulers. Turn around and pity them because they're clueless. Me tell them they can't touch nothing with my father and I and they still not get me point. Tell them again, I live my life like there's an engine revving in there. Push every minute to the limit and I never back from a challenge. You are in me in here, I push every minute to the limit now. And if the banner want to roll, me have to bring it. Push every minute to the limit and I not the only and next guy comes to get it. Push every minute to the limit now. I live my life like there's an engine revving in here. Push every minute to the limit and I never back from a challenge. You are in me in here, I push every minute to the limit now. And if the banner want to roll, me have to bring it. Push every minute to the limit and I not the only and next guy comes to get it.
Just enough time to say goodbye, folks. Thanks for being with me.
Ribbit, Lord have mercy, Jesus Christ, nice. When we went to a dance at Carindon, me and a big fat thing named Palm. But at the reach of the dance floor, the gate fell away from me with my hand. One box me give me 9 blasted face. Money scatter out all over the place. Babylon but me with a big 38 year old man. Let me complete to the pick of me. Let me complete to the pick of me. Sleep under the cellar when me live out of pain. Anything me give it up the ice cold and green. Me beat out me happy man, me cabbage and me brain flour. Let me complete to the pick of me. Let me complete to the pick of me. You love brother, you love show off. You move along like a shovel mouth sharp. Put me dick on a block.
Gather around the TV set, folks. The Bruce Show is on the air. Juice Brew, get